Okay, welcome back for our Moto2 race of the evening. Does look like that rainstorm passed by again, and we have remarkable track drying. So, D Veritech, you were always thinking we hated you. No, this was always going to be a dry race.
We hate everybody equally. Remember that, brother.
That's true, but mostly Heinz.
Yeah, great start here. Heinz going really defensive, pushing Nightcrawl into the inside for turn one. And gets the sweep done. Nightcrawl and Phobia with a fantastic move.
Wow, that's a good clean race start. That is a really clean race start. Now, right as Heinz left our little chat here as we were taking a break, he did say anyone but Nightcrawl. And how's that going for you currently, sir? I see a little yellow highlighter bike way up in front, kind of running away from you.
This is where we need that soundboard for some emotional damage.
Yeah, no joke, right? But if I know anything about Heinz, he is going to win here or crash trying.
I did ask him to switch up his bike between qualifying and race, so he switched over from the Gas to the OnlyFans bike, giving us a better livery to look at. So I appreciate that move.
At least he was willing to change.
It looks like Heinz and Phobia went a bit wide there. The gap is still pretty close. We got 6 bikes here on screen. And a few more tailing off the back end there. Looks like Whispers and Stock just went off track slightly.
Man, it looks like Nightcrawl's kind of running away with it.
But there's a couple of great battles on track. I mean, Veritech's 2/10 behind Jixbuff, Jixbuff 2/10 behind Raj 2/10 behind Phobia. These guys are really, really packed in. One-handed with a move on Phobia there in turn one.
For a moment, I
like
thought the game started making it rain again, and I was about to get violently angry.
Those must be the tears.
No, it was some weird tearing effects with the stands.
Yeah, visually some issues we're running into tonight with this circuit, unfortunately.
The racing is still good, though, so we can make it happen.
Yeah, very clean start here for 2 laps. Looks like Fast Rod was gearing up for a move there.
Oh!
Crash from Heinz.
What'd I say? What did I say?
Go fast or crash. He chose option number 2.
He did. C was go fast and crash. I'm not sure he ever went fast, though.
Well, we do have some big podium points up here. This Moto2 grid in the rider standings is really, really tight. So it's good to see a wildcard rider up there really pushing these guys, because Heinz obviously had a great qualifying position in the wet. But you'd hate to see a mistake on his part from a wildcard rider hit anybody that's in the championship standings.
Oh, for sure. But I think Black Jesus is on it here. Look at Bear.
Looking really smooth. He's got 2 bikes really close behind him, though. And he made this move on Phobia last lap to get around him for turn 1. So we'll see if Phobia can look to do the same. But it doesn't look like he's in the draft.
I dig his helmet. Oh!
Oh, very wide from Roger into 1.
Not a great move there. Not good for time. He says, pointing out the obvious.
Yeah, Nightcrawl's been squeaking up a lead there, up to 2 seconds now. But one-handed had the fastest last lap around.
How does that work? Because I feel like he was less than 2 seconds ahead.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I think Nightcrawl on lap 2 chucked it down to power mode 2 or 1 is right after Heinz crashed and try to conserve, and then he probably turned up the screw a little bit to start this lap.
I can see that reality. I can certainly see that.
The power modes make a big difference on these Moto2 bikes. You know, with the MotoGP bikes in these games, you can make up for power modes with turning the traction up or down. You know, but Moto2 bikes, they don't. Yeah, but the Moto2 bikes don't have traction control, so no matter what, like the power modes make a huge difference on your drive. But whereas in a GP bike, you could be between power mode 2 traction 1 and power mode 3 traction 2, which could run pretty similar lap times.
Interesting. But with a bit of fuel difference.
Slightly a bit of fuel difference, and also the characteristics of how the bike's going to pick up on traction 1 versus 2 will slightly different as well. But on a circuit like this, you don't really need to use power mode 3 a ton. Not a whole lot of straights here. You're always just constantly feathering the throttle, so T-Veritic with a crash out of 6th place.
Looks like all the way in the back here, Whispers is really harassing Jixbuff.
These guys are getting themselves into a nice little battle.
Yeah, let's see what he can pull off, because it looks like Jixbuff is starting to run away with it.
And Phobia is closing the gap down slightly to one-handed. He had made some mistakes in the last lap, but looks like he's clawing his way back in.
Yeah, I don't know if one-handed is struggling or if he is slowing down and conserving. Certainly could be a combination of A and B, I suppose.
You know, in talking to Al, I think a lot of his strategy for races is to kind of start into the race with the lower power modes, really build into it, and then look for a final push at the end. So I wouldn't be surprised if he turns it up a notch here to start the next lap.
He'd be pretty safe if he does that then, because he is looking pretty darn good tonight. Again,
very
like,
smooth
like the
condition.
helmet.
Yeah, it looks fantastic on that bike.
Yes, Milestone. Let's program the leg dangle, but not proper weather. No, thanks. You know what I haven't seen any of tonight?
Yeah.
Birds.
I'm seeing a lot of clutch work here by one hand, and I'm really liking it. That clutch hand is just dancing around.
I'm waiting for it now.
It's so good. Through the first few turns, it's so good.
We're gonna stay here until I see a little bit of a good clutch. Why would he even be touching the clutch?
It's a great question.
He's got a little twitchy brake finger. That's about all I got so far.
It's probably just going to be through like turn 1 because you're downshifting so many times so quickly.
Yeah, auto blipper, bro. I'm about 99% sure Moto2 bikes have one.
Yeah, for sure they do. But on those hard braking sections like turn 1, I'm sure they're slipping it a little bit.
Yeah, unsure to be honest. Oh, there it goes. No, twitch. I can't say twitch that quickly. Fast Rod really wanting that place from stock. He's got a little bit of time to make up. I think he must have just made a big mistake. Looking at his timing, it was much closer than that when we switched over here.
Yep, one hand, it's still holding on to the fastest lap, onto the final lap here now. And the gap to the front's come down a lot, over a second. Nightcrawl's made a mistake.
I wonder if his tires are cooked or if he made a mistake. I mean, I suppose both are a mistake.
One of them would be premeditated, though. Can't imagine there's too many bad options for tires on this track.
You're the expert here, sir.
It's not the most punishing on tires, really, especially in the Moto2 bikes. Even for GP, though, you heard it from Heinz. A lot of guys are running soft rear tires, and just a few different slight adjustments between soft and a hard front for the qualifying. But most of the guys will run a hard front for the race, I'm sure.
Not sure Bear's going to make up that second in this last sector. Unfortunately, he is not. Unless Nightcrawl crashes, which I guess it could happen in the chicane, but I really don't see it coming.
I mean, if this result stands here, it's still going to be a really good result for all three of these guys. They're all at the top end, sharp end of the stick, fighting for the results, and yeah, it'll be Nightcrawler one-handed and Phobia.
Whoa! Big
Stock
move.
with a big move at the end, cutting some curbs. Great race.
Really
Love to see
tight
it.
race overall, yeah. And these guys were all worried about a wet race. Look at that. Nightcrawl in first position, followed by one-handed with that fastest lap. Not by a lot, but enough to make it a fastest lap. And Phobia rounding out the podium. Followed by 7-8 Hines, Stock Hazard, Fast Raj, Jixbuff, D Veritech, and Whispers. Again, really good race from all these guys. Really, really happy to see it. Tight pack. Good job today, gentlemen. We will see y'all next week. So, we are going to take another short break to get our main event lobby set up. We will be back for our main event GP at Assen.